Hey, welcome back to Everything Money, everybody. We're back here. We're doing this virtually. We're not in the studio today, but because we had to talk about, Paul, I know you get fired up about this. Joe Rogan, Spotify, the company, he's saying a lot of things. They're digging up a lot of old clips. I know you despise this cancel culture. And so I wanted to see your thoughts on what's going on with Spotify, how it might affect their company, their financials, their user base, and of course, their stock price. You know, Paul, I wanted to make an announcement on behalf of Everything Money that while we're canceling everybody, Mo, I'd like all of our viewers to submit everything they've done wrong in the past, and we'll call them out on air. Paul, we'll start with you. I think would be a great time to just call out all of your past errors.
We don't have nearly enough time to call out all
would
the
be-
things
Yes.
that have done in the past that probably should have gotten me canceled. What was that, Mo?
This will be a fun version of like mean tweets, but our own version.
Yes.
It's not called mean tweets. It's called Paul tweets.
So, you know, I mean, Paul, I was going to say Paul said some things. You have Joe Rogan, you know, he's got a lot of episodes. He's been talking for a long time. He claims himself he's not that intelligent. He's the first to say, but he has chosen to say some. Well, he has chosen to say some things when it comes to, vaccines, which he's sort of flip-flopped. I've seen videos where just a few years ago he was chastising people for not getting vaccinated. Now he's sort of switching his stance. He was saying he was in love with ivermectin, maybe at the right or wrong time. And of course, now they're pulling old clips where he's saying all the wrong racial words you could probably say. And so in essence,
one wrong racial word, and that's what he said over, I think it's something like 72 times.
70, yeah, it was like 72 or 78 times over 12 years.
We can all agree that certain words should not be said. 100%. We should all agree that we all have the right to choose what we do with our money when somebody does something we don't like. Let our cancel culture be our decision financially. If Spotify determines that they're losing too many people because of that, they've made a big investment in Joe Rogan. They've made a $100 million investment over 10 years. That's a lot of invested dollars. You've got to believe, I'm not surprised that they didn't make Joe Rogan immediately, they didn't cancel him immediately. Does that mean they won't cancel him? I mean, I don't know. I mean, look at Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer got canceled after 13 games and in a 10-year. How long was his deal? Not a 10. Oh, no, what's his name? John Gruden. John Gruden was in a 10-year deal. He's like on year 3 or 4. He got canceled. I believe in using the power of your decision-making to cancel people. I don't believe that it's okay to say, I will put it this way. No one has done everything perfectly in life. People have said things they regret. People will always say things they regret. If you leave it at that, we will absolve you of your sins, you absolve us of our sins. We can always learn. Who was a Democrat senator who was a KKK member? And
Virginia governor.
If we even have a statue for somebody, the left says, look at this Republican, they have a statue, they should be killed. The guy was a freaking KKK member. And then people defended him saying, well, yeah, but he always said he regretted that. Well, so can Joe Rogan regret saying the N-word? Yes, a lot of times. But this man was dedicating his life to hate speech and hate actions. And he's like, it was my biggest regret in life. People are like, see, it was his biggest regret in life. All I'm trying to sit there and say is, let's all be okay with that. Remember the Me Too movement? What's her name? The one lady who accused Weinstein. Then we found out later that she paid off a 17-year-old that she had sex with, a male that was 17 that she had sex with. Where was that? I look at it going, guys, we all make mistakes. Some are dumber than others. But we can all agree that we can allow for a little bit of the only time I get mad is when somebody who is so vocally cancel this person, then find out, oh, wait. Dave Portnoy today had a guy on. They were attacking Dave Portnoy for saying the N-word 10, 15 years ago. Dave Portnoy did some detective work and found when this guy said it in a group chat, he said the N-word. And he had no idea it was coming. So are we going to cancel that guy now? I don't know. Listen, the N-word's an awful word. We can all agree on that. We can all 1,000,000% agree on that. But the question has to be where do we draw the line of, we're going to cancel this person for this act? Well, which act? Saying the N-word? Okay. Is that worse or better than saying another derogatory term for a minority?
Sure.
Is it worse or better than burning a cross in somebody's yard? I'm not equating them, but I sit there and say, where is the spectrum? I fully believe in everybody's ability to say, you know what? I don't support Spotify. I'm out. Great.
Vote with your wallet. That's exactly
Vote with your
so. It's
wallet.
funny. The CEO of Spotify came out. Maybe it was yesterday or maybe this morning. I read an article on the morning show, and he's going to be standing with Rogan. He said we don't want to silence him. That's not the best way of going about this. Which I don't know about you guys, but I'm quite surprised about that.
I am too. I'm very surprised.
I mean, not only is it the vaccine thing, now it's the video that came out about him saying the word, and it's like, oh boy, I can't believe that they're sticking with him. But hey, good for them.
Yeah, I mean, he said he's. Go ahead, Paul. I was going to say, well, he's on the apology tour, which is frankly nice to see. I figured of anybody, he'd just give middle fingers and say, yeah, I said it, but I don't know if they're maybe. I'm guessing they're having some insight about whether he should apologize. I mean, I'm guessing they might be swaying him to apologize. So all in all, Paul, how does this affect Shopify as a company? I mean, we always look at financial statements.
Well, I don't know if it affects Shopify, but it might affect Spotify.
See, I told you Spotify. Do you use Spotify? I these companies, I just got access to a Spotify. I guess I kind of like it. I have Apple Music too. You don't use this company, do you, Paul?
I used to religiously, and then I signed up for that Apple One plan with the cloud services. I'm like, you know what? And Apple Music is great. I mean, listen, I don't listen to. I listen to music. My girlfriend Lisa loves podcasts, and she listens to a lot of podcasts on Spotify. And they did a great. They own the market for podcasts, I think, don't they?
Yeah, and Paul, I was saying, I totally lost my train of thought. I guess the point is, as value investors, we're looking for bad news. We constantly want to find great companies and then wait till they're a little cheaper. And so is this the news that might entice you to start looking at the financials? Let's get after it, Paul.
All right, guys. So this is our Everything Money software. And stay to the end of the video, and you'll hear how you can get the software for under $1 per day. So this is our 8 pillars tab. Let's go Spotify, not to be confused with Shopify.
Thank you,
So,
Paul.
guys, I usually do a thorough video on the 8 pillars, but we're starting to just go right to the 8 pillars. There's a lot of X's here. There's 5 X's. Okay, they have no earnings in the last 5 years total. So adding up all 5 years of earnings doesn't exist. They do have free cash flow, but it's really, really high. Now, in fairness to Spotify, they're spending a lot of money growing. They're going to grow a lot of revenue. Look at their revenue growth. 5 years, $6.4 billion. Net income has grown $1.38 billion. Shares outstanding have also grown. This is a silent killer on stocks. They're diluting you as an owner. So now you own essentially 15% less than the company than you did before. A lot of debt, but also because they have very low free cash flow. So let's go to their revenue. 2017, they did $4.7 billion. Last year, they did $11 billion. All right, almost 2.5 times. Profit. They went from losing $1.4 billion to losing $40 million. So they're on the uptrend. But again, they've never had a profitable year. So this automatically doesn't get I like to find investments where I can look at a track record on history, right? I want to be able to sit there because one of the most important parts of our software is a stock analyzer tool. It allows you to do an analysis between 1 and 20 years. But one of the major parts is profit margin. If they've never made profit, I don't know what their potential profit would be. I have no clue what their potential profit is on the bottom line. I will say their gross margin is only 27%. That's not very high. Most software businesses or businesses with memberships have a very high gross margin.
Yeah.
But a higher overhead. This one, the gross margin is not very high. This means for every extra membership they sell, they only get 27% of that in profit. That's not as much as I would have thought. But look at the stock price. 52-week high was 387. It's at 174 right now, and the low was 155. So this fall started even before Joe Rogan. So using the stock analyzer tool in this company, we can put it in there, but it's not going to mean much. But let's try it. Let's do revenue growth of, remember, my goal is always to be conservative. 7, 10, and 13. Let's go profit margin of 4, 6.5, and 9. Free cash flow margin, I'm going to do the exact same thing. PE, 14, 16, 18, and price of free cash flow the same. And then, guys, I always do 12.5% return because you can buy an ETF and make 9 or 10%. So give yourself a reason to buy it and put yourself some margin of safety in there. Analyze. This is a shot in the dark, but it's telling me, hey, look, it's probably going to fall in half again. So let's change this. Let's go to 10, 13, and 16%. Let's change the profit margin to 6, 8, and 10%. see what happens. On the high side, it's a buy. So if you think revenue is going to go 16% a year for the next 10 years, which I don't know if that's going to happen, it seems probably unlikely, but if it does, there you go. So remember, every investment's a present value, and we don't know about the future, so we have to make assumptions. I can make, look at this, 100% revenue growth for the next 10 years. Look at that. I'd be buying this company all day. We can always modify these prices to make, exactly. Yeah. We can always modify these prices to make them whatever they want to be, but at the end of the day, we also got to be realistic. So that's where I look at it with Spotify.
That's Tesla's assumptions right there.
Yeah, that's great.
That's
Paul, just a few days ago, Kathy Wood and Ark K, she bought another 220,000 shares of Spotify. So she's in love with the dip. She's still believing in this company.
Good for her.
Yeah, it's just always interesting. You can make money on these swings, and Mo can show you how. The day trading and trading tier of our community, the Bidnast Nation. Mo is your fearless leader, and he will guide us right now. Mo, fondle my thumbs up right now. Why don't you?
Guys, so let's just zoom out here. This is what we have for a long-term chart, and I just want to see where we're at right now. Do we have any consolidation? And we do. Right around here. This was May. This was basically the summer of 2020. We have a little support level there. So I do think that Spotify, I almost said Shopify, is going to climb up back and probably fill this gap right here. But with that being said, I wouldn't play it from a long-term perspective. I would come over here and just look at it from a daily perspective. Now, the good news is you are well below all of these 4 major moving averages, and that gap, it doesn't have any major moving averages to contend with. So what I would do is wait for this red line to move into the sweet spot and swing trade this. You can probably swing trade this up to about $205, maybe $220, depending on the bust of volume that you get in. Let's say something crazy happens in the news where they fire Joe Rogan, everybody's happy, who knows. You might get a big influx of volume, and this thing can push you up to that 220 number. Let's also go look at it from a day trading perspective. I just want to see, does this have daily movement? So what I'm looking for here, I want my stochastics to be up in this area, above 80% or consistently below 20%. And right now, I'm not really seeing that from Spotify. You do, your stochastics are in that area, but we're not seeing big buy signals with big engulfing candlesticks up or down really. So to me, I would rather you come over here on a swing trading chart, grab it for a few days, make some money, and be happy with that.
Okay, great. If you want the software we've been showing you in this video, you can have it on your phone. You can join our community. You can get it right now. Paul, tell them how.
So guys, we created this software because people who are watching our videos didn't want to wait for us to make videos in every stock. There's over 10,000 stocks out there. So we made the software. It includes the 8 pillars that you saw before. It includes retirement calculator, which is phenomenal. It includes a stock analyzer tool, which allows you to put your assumptions in for a stock. It's been our most popular tool. 8 pillars portfolio. You can put up to 50 companies in one portfolio and see how it looks as a total, combining all financials. Exclusive video content. Guys, we post videos every single day into our chat right up here. As you can see, I have messages waiting for me for everybody to sit there and see private videos you won't see on YouTube. Everything here coming soon. This is all available. The biggest thing about the software, though, is this chat. This chat has over 6,000 people. If you feel alone in the investing journey, where you have thoughts on your investing, but nobody else agrees with you, there are people in the chat who agree with you. There's thousands of them, and it's growing every single month. It allows people to have conversations about everything, including crypto, including Tesla. I still, in the highest tier level that only talks to me, I still get people saying, hey, you know what, Paul, I still have Tesla. Great. We have a conversation about it. We move on. I'm not as aggressive with them, telling them stupid. But the whole point is, this is all available for $1 per day. Less than a cup of coffee, $1 per day gets you all of this. If it can increase your returns by 1 or 2% a year, or decrease your losses by 1 or 2% a year, it'll make you hundreds of thousands and actually probably millions of dollars. So $1 per day, the price you sign up for today, you're locked in forever in that level. Sign up now, everythingmoney.com or Patreon. The benefit of everythingmoney.com directly is you don't pay sales tax yet because we're not big enough. Go sign up.
And if you're more interested in learning our screening process, that 8-pillar process we use, the metrics we use to look at a stock, you can click the card above Mo's head right now. It'll take you to a video where we go in depth in explaining how we look at companies, whether they're new, whether they're old, and Paul, you're incredible.